What's up everyone, it's TyranitarTube, and you know what would be kind of a mad idea? If there was an open world Pokemon game. I know this idea gets tossed around everywhere, but they've actually come close to making an open world game real well in Sword and Shield. The kind of game I'm talking about is like, you know, in Breath of the Wild, there's 4 sections of the game, 4 quarters, and you can do them in either order. You complete all 4, then you can go deal with the final boss. Breath of the Wild got a 10 out of 10 in so many sites, and I feel like that open worldness and just being able to do whatever you want sat well with a lot of people. If you think about it in Pokemon Sword and Shield, if you look at the map is actually designed in a way where you can just go all around it. It's not like in Kanto, where you start in Pewter City and there's only one path to take. Think about it, on the Galar map, there's the first section with Nessa, Milo, and Kabu, and the second section with the other 5. And I feel like they actually might be heading towards this. Maybe not in Sinnoh Remake, since they wouldn't maybe change Sinnoh into an open world where the gym order doesn't matter, and they might save it for Gen 9, but they could change it to where you start your journey and the story is divided into each of the gyms so that you could do them in any order you want. They can change the way the next towns are blocked. So let's look at Pokemon Sword and Shield. Let's say after you beat Milo, Hop is waiting outside the gym and an event triggers. They can make it so you can go to either of the gyms and he just waits outside when you beat whichever gym you pick. It might sound complicated, like how would the story work? How would you meet the evil team if you can go to each of the gyms on your own? But it's actually simple. You don't have to station them the same way. You could just imagine if you beat, let's say, the second gym leader, the moment you exit the gym, it could just fade to black and a cutscene appears. Like somewhere in the region, it shows the evil team doing something. And then you would know, oh, that is Morimoto City. Let's go to Morimoto City. I think that kind of freedom, even though it would be a small addition, because in the bigger scheme, do you really care about what order you fight the gyms in? But I think it will have a huge effect on just people being able to play it freely. They already said in the Pokemon Origins anime that Brock uses a weaker team when you fight him. So each of the gym leaders could have 8 different teams, and they could establish even further what it means to be a gym leader. Sword and Shield did a good job by showing them as essentially like the strongest of a mono-type trainer, and also the 8 strongest trainers in the region. So the mono-type thing is, I feel like to be a gym leader, you have to use that typing. So Clara in the Isle of Armor DLC, she has to use poison types, and she would have to get strong enough to fight the current poison gym leader, who would be a minor gym leader. And if she can surpass her with the pure poison team, then she's the new poison gym leader, aka the strongest poison trainer. They could just put a lot more lore into the way gym leaders work. Something like this would make it an actual fun idea to just replay it in different ways. We already do stuff like a Nuzlocke with what we're given. With even more freedom to pick your gyms, you could add all kinds of different clauses. And to add to the whole open world feel, they could have more things that make it feel like one big region. And in all honesty, they could do this for Sinnoh remakes, and if they did, it would be a 10 out of 10 game. No one would complain. Oh my god, look, Cyrus isn't waiting specifically for when you beat the 3rd gym and the windmill event happens. Nah, you could save Rourke for last, and you could be doing some next gym, and the same events could just show as a cutscene and you go there. If you really think about it, it wouldn't be backlashed if they turned Sinnoh itself into an open world game, but I feel like they wouldn't step up to the next level like that in the same generation. No one can say for certain, but Sinnoh is almost definitely coming in Generation 8. There's so many other ideas. You could have people who give you missions they send you on. So someone in the starting town would be like, hey, there's this Lake of Rage place, and you could go there and they could be a whole event that you triggered yourself. It may feel a little weird to some people because some people don't want the change and want it to be linear, want them to force you into a specific story. Just something like when there's too many options that it's overwhelming. I think I sort of feel the same way about stuff like that as well, but I think it's more of something like once you experience it, that it'll be way better. Like Breath of the Wild, I know there have been open world Zelda games before. It was overwhelming for me a little because they didn't ask me to go anywhere and no check mark telling you where to go. It's a little overwhelming, but it's also exciting because you're exploring the region. Pokemon is all about exploring, so that final piece of the puzzle would make this a 10 out of 10 game. I say that there maybe isn't a chance of it happening in Sinnoh, but something about Sword and Shield feels like us beta testing some features for them to build on. There's the Pokemon following us. It felt like we were testing out that feature for them. You know, it feels a little odd that they follow you and they keep true to their speeds, which is cool, but it's not the same feeling as in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Like, I enjoy the realism that Melmetal can't follow me and that Urshifu and Zacian run after you extremely fast, but having them just right behind you, regardless of their speed, is almost better. So I don't know how they can implement that, but it's like they're seeing our reactions and building on it. That's why they didn't hype up Pokemon following us. It was like us beta testing it. And then the camera controls. The wild area was the only thing you could use a free camera in. They made the entire Isle of Armor, except when you go into the dojo, totally camera free. It made all the caves completely different. Like in Galar Mine 1 and 2, those caves, if you think about it, actually kind of suck. It's such a simple cave. But they went with that because our camera is stuck in one place. So they made Galar Mine as a literal mine, like someone dug a Minecraft mine. But the caves in the Isle of Armor are really open, and you have to change your camera a lot. So the free camera controls, the Pokemon following us, maybe a lot of the stuff was us testing it out, and there might be more features in the Crown Tundra. And with all this testing done, maybe it would just be the same kind of game in Sinnoh, or maybe they want to build on it and give you the next thing for these. Because Heart Gold and Soul Silver weren't exactly the same games as Diamond and Pearl in terms of having exactly the same features, or as they didn't have only the same features as X and Y, you know, Pokemon following you, the soaring feature. There's a chance that there's gonna be either a new feature introduced for Sinnoh remakes, or they could drop the bomb and just make it open world. And the image of that, the image of open world Sinnoh, where just like in the Isle of Armor, you're free to mess with your camera. You can go to Snow Point City and change the camera angles, do whatever you want. That would gas people up so bad. You would look at Sword and Shield then the same way we look at like Sun and Moon now. How Sun and Moon looks pixelated for some reason. I know Game Freak surely must have a lot of love for Sinnoh, and they're not just gonna poop out these remakes so they could implement open world in Gen 9. I feel like they might just tackle it in Sinnoh, make the best remakes. If there's one thing, because they're making these DLCs, it's giving them a better way to allocate their time for the next games. A much better way, because they don't gotta revamp Sword and Shield to make the platinum version. They've probably split their team and they have so much more time to work on the next games. And there's even more things that could be in Sinnoh. Sinnonian forms. It's such an easy way to hype and sell the game by introducing new forms like that. And open world camera controls, I feel like it all really could be coming. They could sort of do the same thing as the gym stadiums, except it'd be small gyms, because Sinnoh's not all super popular about sports, but they would change it to where everyone knows what's happening and that a certain trainer is getting stronger, because I think that was a good thing in Sword and Shield. Well, that's it, guys. Shank that like button. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.
Bitch, I'm the man. Give me my spot on that throne. They didn't want me to grow. They didn't know I would make all of them go. I did it all on my own. Man, what was you when I was trapped in my zone? Never had nothing to own. Now it's all good. All of that fronting is gone. I'm out here stunning for show. Bitch, I'm a pro.